All right, guys, here we go. Week 4 review. I'm going to do a little different because I'm going to do the week 4 review and the week 5 preview all in the same video to save time for me. Let's start with my game. Facial Hair Fantasy 90. Another under 100 game. And Joe Cool 134. So really good day for Rich. He crushed me by 44 points. I picked me, but I said I would pick Rich. But I picked me. So 0-1. Look, who was key for Rich? So he lost his quarterback to COVID-19, and his backup put up 27 points. So good day for Matt Stafford. 27 points for Dalvin Cook, 11 points for Stephon Diggs, 15 points, 16 points for McKinnon, 12 points for Kenny Golladay, 11.5 points for his linebacker, and 11.5 points for his defensive back. So a lot of great things on Rich's team. One of the biggest takeaways, he crushed me on defense. I know Rich and I both kind of tend to focus on defense with the same kind of theory as if they can get above 20, it's a good day. Rich's team got 25-ish, and my team got 11. So that was just some of the 40 points he beat me by. Would you call Travis Kelce a disappointment? He only scored 7. I wouldn't, but because it's tight end. But Travis Kelce should be getting 10. On the bright side, had my biggest quarterback play of the week with 19 points for Fitzpatrick. Big disappointments. Jonathan Taylor. He's not my biggest disappointment, but he is a disappointment. But key players for me: Mike Evans, 18.2. DJ Chark, 21.5. So that's it. Disappointments. So we won't even call Taylor a disappointment because he got 8. Higbee, 2.1. Drake, 3.5. Henderson, who did 18 points 2 weeks ago, 18 points last week, got 3.8. Kicker, he cut 2 points. Luckily, he tied Rich's kicker. Aldon Smith, number 1 overall defensive lineman, 2 points. So, long story short, crap. I literally could have put anyone in. No, Jeff Wilson would have done worse than Kenyon Drake. But other than that, I could have put everybody in my bench, and I would have done better. So 0-4 for me, 3-1 for Rich. Good job, Rich. Second game of the week was Spencer versus Graham. Somebody got beat worse than I did, and that was Graham. He got beat by 62 points, and he only scored 73. Spencer was the highest scoring team of the week. Not bad for starting 0-2. Now he's up to 2-2 with 2 really good weeks. So who was fantasy MVP for Spencer? Dak Prescott, 46 points in a losing effort. The Cowboys suck so much. The Eagles also suck, but the Cowboys suck, but are putting up fantasy points. Melvin Gordon, like I said he was going to, 24 points against the Jets. Tyreek Hill, 11. Mike Davis. So since Mike Davis has taken over for Christian McCaffrey, he's been as good as Christian McCaffrey. Kicker with 13 points. Gotta love high kicker points. I wouldn't know what that's like. So those were the big ones. But I mean, when your quarterback gets almost 50, and Graham scored 73 total. His best player was Carson Wentz. Who would have guessed that watching that game? 23 points. Other than that, T. Higgins with 9. Linebacker Blake Martinez, 10.5. But disappointments on both sides. So disappointing for the biggest disappointment for Spencer. Not that he needed it because he won by 60, but he benched Kittle, or he didn't put Kittle back in his lineup against the Eagles. And Greg Olsen, his replacement, had 3.5. And Kittle had, where is he? 25. So that would have been a really high score. That would have been a 157. But T.Y. Hilton, he's sucking this year. 2.9 for Spencer. Defense, a little bit of a letdown, only 11.5 for Spencer, but only 12.5 for Graham, so it was kind of a wash. Big disappointments for Graham. I mean, Graham is just the injuries, right? So Adrian Peterson actually had 9.6 points. That's decent. But Gallup, so they put up 40 points. The quarterback put up 46, and Gallup put up 2.9. So odd man out there. Zach Ertz, 2.9. Edelman, 3.5 with awful quarterbacks. Curtis Samuel, 4.8. Brandon Graham, 0. Hunter Smith, 2. So overall, Graham has Christian McCaffrey, Sony Michel, Raheem Mostert, and Michael Thomas all injured. And if Mostert's player profile would go away, and Paris Campbell and Sterling Shepard. So Graham that's what you get for winning twice in a row. Apparently, it's really bad for you for injuries, but they should start coming back soon, I would hope. Especially Michael Thomas. I think he's supposed to come back this week. Game number 3 was a good one. Jason Hahn versus Jason Calder. So you had Hahn at 3-0 and Calder at 2-2. I picked Hahn to win, I'm pretty sure. I also picked Spencer. So if I wouldn't have picked myself, I would be 3-0, but instead I'm 2-1. So 110 to 100. And at midway through the Falcons game, Jason Calder was winning until Gurley scored a couple touchdowns late. So quarterback battle was a good one, like I said it was going to be. 28 for Murray, 29 for Josh Allen. Let's go through, Amari Cooper for Hahn, 22 points. Todd Gurley, 18 points. Kicker, 13 points. Linebacker, 10.5. So a couple good days for Hahn. For Calder, it was Josh Allen, stud again, 29. Zeke, 11. Devontae Parker, 11. Beasl's got 9.2. And Tyrann Mathieu had a touchdown, so that really helped. So his DB had 13. So pretty good day. Stinkers were Josh Jacobs. I'm not going to call him a stinker because he got 7.3 points. Probably would have been one of the top scorers on my team. But after that 30 points in week 1, man. Waller, 6.8. Brandon Cooks, 0.0. Darrell Williams, 0.2. Aaron Donald, 2. Antoine Winfield Jr., 2. That's for Hahn. Over on the other side, unfortunately for Calder, he lost his starting tight end to COVID. So he only had Knox, the Buffalo guy, and he got 1.6. It was a Cooper Kupp day, so Robert Woods got 3.7. Anthony Miller, thought he'd do better with Foles in there, only 1.6. Yeah, that's it. Anytime you score in triple digits, it's good, but Hahn with another win, 4-0, tied for first. Then we had one of the 0-3 guys pull out a win. So we had 2 absolute crap kickings. I got my butt kicked and Graham got his. And in this one, Derek, 0-3 versus Dan Evans, the highest scorer in the league, 2-1. Derek beat him by 0.76 points. Awesome game. Quarterbacks, Deshaun Watson, I used to have him, 25 points. Aaron Rodgers for Dan Evans, 37. Alvin Kamara for Dan Evans, 20. DK Metcalf, 10.6. So the Seahawks battle, wide receiver battle, was won by DK. He had 10.6, and Lockett only had 3.9. Devin Singletary and CeeDee Lamb for Derek. CeeDee Lamb, 21 points, and so there's all Gallup's points. Went to CeeDee Lamb, so really good. Singletary was the only running back there. He was good. James Robinson, waiver pickup of the year for Dan Evans, 10.7. Kickers were essentially a wash, and Dan Evans' defense, actually somebody's defense scored less than mine. Dan Evans' defense, because he lost his linebacker to an injury, was 6.5 total points. and Jason's was 11. So that's the difference. If Darius Leonard doesn't miss that game, you know, Derek should have played any one of his quarterbacks. Just looking at his bench, 41 points for Tom Terrific. Man, 28 points for Justin Herbert. On Dan's bench, 33 points for Odell Beckham. Geez, if you could see the future, 27.8 points for Robert Tonyan on Dan's bench. I'm pretty sure that if I added up just the points on Dan's bench, it would be more without a quarterback down there that played. It would be more than my team has scored in our highest scoring effort all year. Some great players in that one, but it turns out to be a squeaker for Deke. I lost that one. I bet on Deke coming with me to 0-4. And then Devin. So 4-0, that makes him 17-1 or 18-1 in the last bunch of games. That one was the final loss. Devin beat Danny Wynott by 16. Keys for Devin. Russell Wilson keeps on trucking, 24 points. Mark Andrews, 18 points. Will Fuller, 17 points. Ronald Jones, 12 points. Antonio Gibson, 19 points. Whew. Bobby Wagner, 12 points. DB, 0 points. That sucked. So Devin had 12 points for his linebacker and 13 points overall for his defense. And still scored 114. So really good overall output, but defense needs some work. Looking at Danny Wynott, not that I would know. My idea is still better than mine. 18 points, Drew Brees. Not been great this year. 17 points for Aaron Jones. He has been great. 13 points for Cooper Kupp. 12 points for Jerry Jeudy. 9 points for his kicker. And again, another defense that's a little bit low. Only 15 points in defense there. So no real big whiffs, I don't think, on the bench on these teams. Nope. But the biggest issue with this one is Devin lost Chubb. He's on IR, so DeAndre Hopkins disappointing, 4.1 points. That's really the defense for Devin. For Dan, he would have expected more from Hayden Hurst and Randall Cobb, I would think, and Preston Williams, but not stinkers, just not great days. And then finally, the game to leave me by myself at 0-4 was not to be, because Mike Yip pulled that one out by 0.64. So Derek won by 0.7 something, and Drew lost by 0.6 something. So, wow, what matchups. Now, one thing in this one is Yip took preemptive strikes that Mahomes wouldn't play, and put him on the bench for Derek Carr, I'm guessing, or he just liked the matchup better. But it turns out not to be that bad, because Carr only had 1 point less than Mahomes. So 23 points for Carr. Let's look at the winning team. 18 points for Thielen, 16 points for Allen Robinson, 9.1 for Edwards-Helaire, and there's a good defense. 8.5 for Myles Garrett, 10 points for Hicks, 7 points for Poyer. So really good results on the defense for Mike Yip, and that is what won him the matchup. Lamar, 28 points. David Johnson, 11 points for Drew. 9 points for Hawkinson, 12.28 for Landry, threw a touchdown pass, so that's always nice. 10 for Robbie Anderson, 15 for his kicker, which is more than my kicker scored all year long. Total. 15 versus 4 weeks for Zerline. And that's why I say he won the battle, because Drew ended up with only 13 points from his defense and 25 for Mike Yip. So here we are down in the basement. Latavius Murray, 20 points on Drew's bench. Nobody saw that coming. He would have never gotten a lineup. One good thing for Drew is he should get Lev Bell back soon. So there you have it. I picked you up. I might have gone 5-1 for this week, so that's not so bad. Let's see if I can get to week 4. or week 5. So, what do we know? 2 guys up at the top, Devin and Jason Hahn at 4-0. 2 guys down at the bottom, me and Drew at 0-4. We got to turn it around or the season's over. That's all there is to it. So, let's talk about week 5 matchups. So, since it's my tablet, it always comes up my match first, and that's the one that I care about. It's me versus Derek. Right now, it's got me winning, but we'll see. Here's some question marks. Am I going to have Derrick Henry? Tennessee Titans are idiots. So they were told not to gather, and they gathered, and they might not play the Bills this week. So right now, Derrick Henry is in my lineup, but he could be gone. So the fun matchups I'm going to watch, that Tennessee Titans situation is the biggest one for me. But I'm going to be watching Gardner Minshew versus Deshaun Watson. So I traded Deshaun Watson away. It's the who won the trade match, because Derek's going to play Deshaun Watson and I'm going to play Jonathan Taylor. So who won the matchup? We'll find out. I can't play Jimmy Garoppolo because I traded him away and then traded, and I don't have him anymore. So, and Derek's probably not going to play Benny Snell, but he's welcome to if he wants to. I hear he's really good. So, keys in the matchup: Minshew versus Deshaun Watson. I'm also going to key on, for me, I'm going to key on Mike Evans. He plays Thursday night. He's got a bum ankle. Is he going to play? Sure hope so. He had 18 points last week. But the biggest guy I'm watching is Kenyon Drake. 72% of the touches for his team, running back touches, but has sucked. So if the Jets can't cure him, might be time to just sit him on the bench. And for Derek, keys are going to be Miles Sanders. Can he come through versus Pittsburgh? They didn't seem to want to use Miles Sanders as much last week. Maybe they're just working him back in or easing up on him or whatever. But who knows? And then Tyler Lockett. So 2 weeks ago, I think it was, Tyler Lockett had like 30 points. And last week he had barely any. So is it a Tyler Lockett week? Seattle's playing Minnesota. They give up points. Sorry, Dan, but they're sucky in defense. If they were in the NFC East, they'd probably be the best team. All right, so that's week. I'm going to pick me, obviously. I'm going to go to 1-4 and start my comeback. Everybody loves a good comeback story. So next one, another big matchup. Rich Hiltz versus Danny Wynot. So 3-1 versus 2-2. Rich has a new quarterback in because Cam Newton has COVID-19, so he's got Baker back after last year. So, keys for Rich are going to be let's say Myles Gaskin versus San Francisco. How's he going to do in that game? And Baker. And keys for, Dalvin Cook is on his team. Diggs, they're top of the line players. They're not key. They're key because you don't want them to bust, but they shouldn't bust because they're good. Yeah. The other key is what's he gonna do? Is if Mostert isn't back, McKinnon could be a monster this week. But McKinnon should still be involved because that's what San Francisco does. Over on the other side of the ball, Cooper Kupp, Juju Smith-Schuster versus Philadelphia. Will he get Darius Slay? If he gets Slay, then it could be a tough day for Schuster. If Deontay Johnson gets Slay, then Schuster should run rampant over Philadelphia in the middle of the field. Yeah. The matchup I think that is key to the whole thing is going to be Travis Kelce versus Hayden Hurst. Um, on paper, Kelsey should mop him, but Kelsey only had 7 last week. Hurst had 5, so that's going to be a key matchup. Looking at the next one is Spencer versus. Come on, tablet. Spencer versus Jason. So we got a guy who's scored big the last 2 weeks versus a 4-0 team. So Spencer can really move up the board and bring Jason back to the pack if he wins this one. Key players for Spencer: George Kittle. Can he repeat? George Kittle and Keenan Allen. Those are the two I'm going to say. Geez, I'm going to give Spencer key. I really like his lineup right now. George Kittle, Keenan Allen, and Mike Davis. So if Davis continues, Davis has Atlanta. So that's like a must play everybody versus Atlanta, right? Keenan Allen is going to go up against Marshawn Lattimore. So he's been great. He's been getting a lot of targets from Justin Herbert, but Lattimore is really good. And George Kittle, is there anybody better? Rob Gronkowski in his prime was the most amazing tight end I've ever seen. George Kittle just plays the game so violently and seems to love it. So that's interesting. Over on Jason's team of superstars, I got keys are Amari Cooper versus the New York. Can he repeat what he did last week? But the biggest thing about Amari that's key is if he scores touchdowns, that cuts off Dak's touchdowns for Spencer. So that'll be interesting. If Amari Cooper doesn't get the touchdowns, then Dak keeps getting them without him. So, and then the next key for Jason, I'll say, is going to be Chris Carson. Chris Carson versus Minnesota. I already talked about Minnesota. They're hurting on defense. I love the way Chris Carson plays. So those are the keys. And the battle I'm watching it normally is quarterbacks. Dak Prescott versus Kyler Murray. Murray started off like a house on fire and hasn't done bad at all. And don't think I'm saying he's doing bad. He's doing good, but he's just not he's not in the 30s. So who are the Arizona Cardinals? Are they who we think they are? Ask Dennis Green. Who would I pick to win in that one? I picked the undefeated guy until he shows me he's going to lose. That would be Jason. Two teams going in opposite directions. Mike Yip 3-1, Graham 1-3. Keys for. I forgot a stinker. Forgot to mention a stinker last week. Calvin Ridley had 0 points against Green Bay. Was totally shut down coming back from his injury. So he is the key. He was the wide receiver 1. Not anymore. Not with a 0. So Calvin Ridley is the key for Mike Yip. Because I don't know if Julio's going to play. But and I don't think he is. But Calvin Ridley, he's probably going to play, and he is key. For Graham, keys are who does he get back from injury? Right now, Mostert looks like he might play. Mike Thomas looks like he might play. I'm going to say the key for Graham is going to be that whether the guys come back or not. If they don't come back, he needs some huge days. But guys I know are going to play is probably Michael Gallup will be the key. Like, is he T.Y. Hilton? Is he time for them? Did CeeDee Lamb take all his targets? Hopefully it's a Gallup week for Graham and for me because Derek has CeeDee Lamb. But the matchup to watch would be if they're both playing, which for me, I'm watching Calvin Ridley versus Michael Thomas. But they might not. But that would be the one for me. Ridley versus Michael Thomas. And I'm picking Yip to win. Sorry, unless Allgram's till CMC comes back and you see how effective Michael Thomas is going to be with that high ankle sprain. I'll pick against Graham for now. We might as well be in the basement. The Eagles are leading the division, right? Ooh, another big matchup. 4-0, Chubless, Devin Baker versus 0-4, Drew Bolivar. The DB met. Oh, 4 DBs are going against each other this week. Devin Baker versus Drew Bolivar. David Bachman versus Deke Bolivar. Man, amazing. We're all watching the quarterback battle in this one. Russell Wilson versus Lamar, right? Keys for Devin, Josh Kelly. Can he pick up the slack? Austin Ekeler is out, so can he do it? Key for Drew, big key, Julio, whether or not he plays. But key player for Drew needs somebody to step up big. So I'm going to say Robbie Anderson is that guy. He's the key for Drew this week because he's playing Atlanta. They're giving up points. So I'm liking what I'm seeing from Robbie Anderson this year. So he's going to be my guy. But like I said, the quarterback battle, Lamar versus Russell Wilson, this is what we're watching. And the final matchup is a matchup of 2-2. So this will be a really good matchup, I think. Jason Calder versus Dan Evans. And unfortunately, Dan loses one of his top weapons this week. Aaron Rodgers is on a bye. So let's scroll down here, see who he's got for a backup. Currently no one. So Dan will be picking somebody up on the waiver wire, I'm assuming. But keys for Dan are going to be that quarterback position, who he gets to replace Aaron Rodgers, and will that person, who's out there? Daniel Jones is probably still out there. Teddy Bridgewater might be, I don't know. But there's some guys on the waiver wire. Ryan Fitzpatrick's there. I just put him back there. So keys for Jason Calder are he is the fortunate son who got Kareem Hunt. So with Chubb going down, Hunt becomes a stud, but he's key this week because they're playing Indianapolis and that defense. Otherwise, man, look at Calder's team. Mixon, Elliott, Kareem Hunt, Robert Woods, Josh Allen, all just coming into it. And if you look over on Dan's side, Alvin Kamara, amazing. DK Metcalf, amazing. Terry McLaurin just got a new quarterback, which should make him better. James Robinson, having a great season. This is going to be a great matchup. Other than mine, this might be the one I pay attention to the most. So good luck to both of those guys. Right now, I'm going to pick... Man, that's a tough one. I'm going to pick Jason Calder. Jeez. I wouldn't want to pick this one on the spread. I'm going to pick Jason Calder because I just said it once. I don't know why. He's got these great running backs, but Dan has these great players too. Good matchups. So that's week 5 coming up. Hopefully we have the Tennessee Titans play a football game. I'm changing my pick. If the Tennessee Titans don't get to play the Bills, I'm taking Dan Evans. And because he'll lose his starting running back, or his starting quarterback, and his starting tight end. So if that happens, I'm changing to Dan Evans. And since it's my video, I can do what I want. I'll probably forget who I picked and just claim that I went 5-1 like I did this past week. Okay, so there it is. Jason Calder, if the Bills play. If the Bills don't play, Dan Evans. And then picked Devin. Yep. I don't think I picked that Devin game, but I picked Devin. Devin, Yip, Jason Hahn, myself, and Who did I pick with a Rich Schultz game? You think I'd write this stuff down? Come on, tablet. And Rich Schultz. Nope. Danny Wynot. Me? Danny Wynot. I'm like a flip-flop. Me? Danny Wynot. Jason Hahn. Mike Yip. Devin. And Jason Calder unless the Bills don't play, and then Dan Evans. You can take that to the bank. All right, so I know the video's a little longer, but it saves me from having to do one tonight and another one tomorrow night. All right. Have a great day, football fans, and hopefully by the end of this week, I am 1-4.